devastation from this tornado that hit Moore earlier this afternoon.
And we'll continue to follow Lance West's report from the school while you do that, John.
Hey, Travis, back out and go to your left. Okay, well, we're going to back out and go to our left, and you can kind of see just the scouring of the earth. All you're seeing is just dirt. We'll keep going to the left past the Orr family farm, and we'll kind of pick it up right there about, from this distance, it'll be I-44 in the river. So let me see here.
Now you're on the west. You're on the west side of Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on the west side of Moore. We'll go the damage path. So we'll kind of zoom in. We'll follow you. We'll bring this here. So we're crossing. We're crossing the land here. We're coming up on what's that, May, and then the next intersection is going to be Penn. After that, we're going to follow. We're going to cross where we're at now. We're going to cross the Orr family farm here. If you'll back out just a little bit, Travis, and keep coming to the right. As when Tony Beverly reported earlier, he was reporting from right there.
We're starting to lose John a little bit.
Here.
But what he's showing you is the path of this storm as it moved through Moore, Oklahoma earlier this afternoon. 30 square miles of devastation believed to be estimated by Mike Morgan, our meteorologist. The death toll that we know so far are 4 confirmed deaths. We got those from Meg Alexander because she was there as they began pulling those bodies out. She said it was a man's body, a woman's, and a 7-month-old baby. And truthfully, my notes don't indicate who the 4th person may have been, but at least 4 fatalities so far in Moore, Oklahoma.
Let's take it down to the ground in that heavy hit area there at ground zero, unfortunately, in Moore with Jesse Wells, our reporter on the scene there right now. Jesse.
Well, Kevin, I'm standing here at the corner of Eagle and Southwest 11th. We've been talking about Plaza Towers Elementary a lot. We've seen it from the air. This is it right here behind me as I step out of the way and let Joe zoom in. This is the front of Plaza Towers Elementary School. You can see, again, we've said it before from the air, this school is basically gone. It's totally destroyed. Most of the walls collapsed. As you can see, there's a number of cars that were thrown into the front of this building. It's actually an office on the very front of the school. There's a truck, an SUV of some kind, got thrown into the front of that school. Over here, just to the south, they've been, emergency crews have been continuing to work on getting kids out of this school building. Again, I told you a few minutes ago, I talked to a couple of kids that were in this school at the time. They were literally hugging the walls of the interior hallways as that tornado went overhead, trying to survive. They were being protected by some of the teachers that worked in this school building. Again, right now, I do not know how many kids were inside or are still inside. Again, apparently there may still be kids inside the school. We really don't know. The information very sparse coming out from down here. But again, you can see the search and rescue crews continuing to treat the kids that were in this school, that search for kids if there may still be kids inside. And honestly, it's not, of course, just the school that got hit. As we pan around a little bit further, you'll be able to see that all around, 360 degrees around where I'm standing, all the homes literally leveled to the ground. Again, right now, very chaotic scene. People just trying to search through a lot of these homes. Honestly, it's a search and rescue operation out here for a lot of folks. If they have loved ones, if they have friends, then they haven't heard from them, they're out here looking around, trying to find out if their family members are still alive. It's really indescribable. When you look around, there is nowhere you can look out here where you don't see damage and destruction. Again, right now we're in the front of the corner here at the front end of Plaza Towers Elementary. We've been talking a lot about that school. Again, total devastation out here. Absolutely, there's no other way to say it that I can think of. Total devastation out here. And of course, we'll try to find out. The information, again, very sparse as far as kids that were rescued, kids that may still be trapped. We really don't know. We'll try to find out some of that information here. Again, Plaza Towers Elementary right here behind me absolutely took a direct hit from this tornado, and there just is not a lot left standing on that school. We'll try to get you more information here as soon as possible. Back to you guys.
And you know, Jesse and Linda, teachers are special people, you know, because you have family members that are educators, as do I. And we're getting reports that one teacher sacrificed her body basically to cover her students, and she was severely injured.
And then Lance had
they
also
do
told us about a female teacher who put her body over 6 children, and they survived. So that's the good news coming from this location, and we need all the good news we can get.
Now, for folks in southeast Oklahoma, this is very important.
Southeast Oklahoma City.
Southeast Oklahoma City. Today's storm, or we just got a news release, knocked out the power at the Draper Water Treatment Plant. It's important that residents and businesses in southeast Oklahoma City stop using water. Emergency generators will begin operating the plant soon. OG&E is working to get everything going. But again, it's important for folks in southeast Oklahoma City to stop using water right now. The water treatment plant is damaged, and that's a sight right there,
at
the
a
emotion.
Heartbreaking sight. I mean, all of these people trying to figure out whether their loved ones are alive, being denied access, hands to their faces as they are totally aghast at what they're seeing. Now, Meg Alexander joined us earlier. You may have seen that. She was at 4th and Telephone Road, where she shot an interview on her cell phone. So keep in mind, this is going to be cell phone video in the search and rescue for a mother and son. Let's
take
roll
a look.
that.
Right now, they're searching for what they believe is a mom and a 7-month-old baby. They last heard that she was possibly in the freezer with that child. They've been digging now for a while. All of it's chipping in. We've already had one fatality at the site, a woman who's already been taken away. And now we're all just waiting with bated breath and trying to get the debris up as quickly as possible. At one point, I think everybody here has lent a hand. Now we're clearing out. There's been a hit by a dog. So we believe there is a human in there somewhere.
And sadly, having talked to Meg after she sent that in, there were 4 fatalities at that scene. 7-month-old baby, a man and a woman, and another victim. I don't know the details on that, but our thoughts are with their families. And we hope to bring you additional information on all of these situations. But truthfully, those are the only reason we know of those confirmed deaths is because Meg was there.
We had a reporter on the scene.
Authorities have not released any numbers related to fatalities or injuries. We are so very much still trying to gather information, as are responders who are on the scene right now.
Now, we did get some information from Integris Southwest saying that there were 28 that they had treated there at their emergency room, 9 in critical, 9 in serious, and 8 were in either fair or good condition. We're talking about everything from abdominal wounds to head wounds, because we talked about the flying debris that causes so many problems. And they're going to, of course, report back to us on that. 2 of those, by the way, were children. 2 of those 27. We're working to get more information on that for you as well. We need to go back to Bob Moore, Chopper 4, and John Welsh, if we can, just to show you, as you're coming home right now at the 6 o'clock hour, the scope of this damage. This is the Tower Plaza elementary school that we've been focused on. Our kids, we believe, trapped in that debris.
And John, we're going to start. We're going to start encountering the same problem that we encountered yesterday as we covered the storms that moved in the Shawnee area, and that they really only have about 2 hours of daylight left to try to find survivors.
Yeah, they're really running out of time. I do know that OHP just took off a moment ago to put their night sun on their aircraft, which provides somewhere between 35 and 50,000 or 35 and 50 million candle watt power. So that can help out a little bit. But, you can only carry a couple hours of gas at a time, and they can only be in one spot. So the police and emergency crews are, kind of thinking outside the box on ways that they can help illuminate the areas that they're trying to work. But again, like we said yesterday, we're going to run into the same scenario with running out of daylight. I'm glad to see they've already have dogs on scene. They did a good job implementing a TFR we had to climb up. All news aircraft are up here about 4,000 feet in the air, so we're not hampering their ability to hear the victims at all. But just the scope of damage here, we were talking earlier, and from about where we showed you through the densely populated area of Moore, we're showing you about 12 miles of destruction that is just through the heart of the town. So that's basically the densely populated areas. That's not even including on the other side of the river or when it crossed Sooner Road and went towards where they had that annex for the lake. So I believe in 1999 the census was somewhere around 40,000 people. After May 3rd, 99, 10,000 people were displaced and left more. The population dropped down that low. So we'll see what the population does here. We were just now kind of growing back up above 50,000 people. We'll see how many people are displaced out of this. But just in these neighborhoods, I'm easily, without really counting every home, we've got 500 homes that I'm just circling over right now that are not, that are just completely gone. I mean, I'm not saying damaged, I'm saying gone. All there is foundations and driveways. And we're even seeing a couple spots, and obviously the driveway might have been cracked or whatnot, but pieces of the driveway are physically missing. And you know, you think about that being in with a couple 100-mile-an-hour wind, that's a pretty big projectile that can go into a building or go into something else that kind of leads to some of these injuries that we've been talking with at the hospital there.
Yeah, exactly, John. And it's just gasoline, really.
The National Weather Service is confirming winds over 200 miles an hour tore through Moore, Oklahoma earlier this afternoon. We have Governor Mary Fallin on the line right now. And Governor, we were talking to you yesterday after those horrible storms moved through Shawnee, Oklahoma and Dale. And today it's even worse. This brings back memories of May 3rd, 1999, when a storm followed the same basic path through Moore, Oklahoma.
Well, it seems to follow that same path, and it's a terrible, terrible day for Oklahoma. And yesterday was bad, but today's even worse. And we're very concerned about our search and rescue efforts through these various areas of Moore, Oklahoma. It hit some major facilities with the 2 schools, the hospital, the Warren Theater itself, and certainly with the homes that we're seeing that are destroyed. Traffic on the highways, we know that there were cars piled up on I-35 and on 44 around the Newcastle exit, but we have all hands on deck. There are a lot of people that are out with search and rescue right now, searching for anyone that might be injured or trapped in the damage itself. And we have our command center here at the Capitol is up and running with about 50 people. It's been up and running since yesterday, but all the different state entities are here in the room, along with our charities, the Highway Patrol, the National Guard, the Health Department. FEMA is already here on the ground. The President has called and offered any type of assistance that we need in Oklahoma with search and rescue efforts, along with federal red tape for disaster declarations, which we have now upped our disaster declaration to include the 5 counties that were affected today. And we are getting an immediate relief from the federal government on different things that we need.
And Governor, that's great having the federal resources come in here, but with what happened yesterday and today, how we're getting kind of stretched thin, I guess, on the state resources at this point.
Well, we have everyone out right now. I have activated our National Guard, which we have 80 people that will join in to secure the perimeters, do the search and rescue efforts itself, and to help with whatever needs to be done to work along with the Highway Patrol and the local emergency personnel and law enforcement itself. We also have teams coming in, 3 teams from out of state that are search and rescue teams, along with search and rescue dogs that we want to have, especially in such a massive path of destruction here. We want to make sure that we locate people as quickly as possible. It's going to be dark again. We still have some weather out across the state itself, so we want to make sure that we're finding the people and getting them to a safe location.
Governor Fallin, talk to us specifically. There are so many people who are frantic because they don't think that the rescue and the search for people in that debris is taking place as quickly as they would like. Of course, they're worried about their loved ones. From a very practical standpoint, how is this unfolding? What can you tell them? Besides that we're doing our best, what can you tell them about how rescue crews are moving in there?
Well, we have called out everyone we can, and of course they were on the spot immediately after the tornado hit. It was pretty remarkable how quickly people were rushing up to the sites that were hit so hard. We have the local county people certainly have all their resources out. The Highway Patrol's been in command of down there with their resources too. As I mentioned, we have the National Guard out. We've called in extra search and rescue teams to make sure we can find the people. I've been visiting with the Highway Department. We had major traffic congestion along I-35 and on the side streets, which makes it pretty hard to get to the various areas. You know, I would just tell Oklahomans to stay away. You know, let our search and rescue teams get in there. Let our families get in there. There is destruction on the road. There's power lines that are down. Oklahoma City and Oklahoma County are in full force with more, and certainly all of our state resources itself. Tomorrow we'll be going out by helicopter with the National Guard to survey the damage, but right now we want to be here in the command center making sure that we're having the best coordination of services possible.
Governor Fallin, let me ask you one question. How is news of fatalities and injuries being relayed to the public? We know that there have been 4 fatalities because Meg Alexander was on the scene when they pulled the bodies from the wreckage. Do you have knowledge of any authorized release of fatalities yet?
We do our fatalities through the ME's office at the Office of Emergency Management. We have not received official news of any loss of life at this point in time, but we certainly have seen the damage on TV and know that there's a possibility that there is, and we certainly know there were a lot of people who have been injured and taken to triage units and also to the various hospitals.
So those numbers will come from the ME's office, is that correct?
Numbers will come from the ME's office as they're able to verify through the local authorities. We have our health department that is out also. You know, one of the things we worry about is people walking through the debris and stepping on various things, and so we've had health department officials and the Red Cross out giving tetanus shots today, certainly providing people with gloves and boots as they walk around their personal belongings and making sure that they're safe. And, of course, the utility companies are out dealing with the down powered lines. One of the things that's been very frustrating for us, and we've had to send people to try to get to the places, is that the phone lines are so jammed up. If you've tried to use your cell phone or even try to call out on a landline, a lot of the landlines were taken down, and so communication has been very difficult.
Governor Mary Fallin reporting to us live and feeding us information that we desperately need from this area. If there's anything that we can do or our viewers can do, you know you only have to call us and we'll pass along that information. Governor Mary Fallin.
Thank you very much. Just send your prayers tonight for our fellow Oklahomans, and we'll have some disaster relief funds set up for those that have lost a lot. Certainly people can help with the Red Cross and the Salvation Army with monetary donations.
All right, Governor Fallin, thank you very much. And I just want to pass this along, too, real quick. We appreciate the governor being with us. But the Red Cross has sent us this. This is from the Regional Director of Communications. They have a website because they're getting a lot of questions about checking for loved ones in the Moore area. They have a website that's called Safe and Well. Now, the site is www.safeandwell.org. Again, www.safeandwell.org, and they get as much information out as they can on those who have been injured and what they know about loved ones that you might want to be checking on. So think about that.
Is Safe and Well spelled out? Or?
Safe and Well is spelled out.
Okay.
It's spelled out all as you do when you go into a particular website. It's all spelled there together. Now, let's check in with Meg Alexander, who is down at the, well, she was at the command center. Looks like you still are, Meg, or have you moved?
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Linda. Yes, again, we're near 4th and Telephone at the command center here at the Warren Theater. If you look behind me, this is a view here of this Moore Medical Building that I know we've heard a lot about. I know that Mike Morgan referred to this area as that tornado was coming through. We also have some video. I told you that we had some video of a search and recovery, as we're calling it now, since there were fatalities. If we could take a look at some of that video. This was a 7-Eleven and liquor store combination type thing on the corner here at 4th and Southwest 4th and Telephone. And you can see people came right as soon as this happened. There were a number of people there, everybody pitching in to dig out. Already they had pulled one man, they pulled another woman. They were deceased, but the thought was there was a mom and a baby still in here, and you can see people were just working so hard to try to find them. Unfortunately, we found them, but they were not alive. Let's take a listen to one of the people who was there helping as well.
There were about 5 of us that headed over this way, and we just, minor injuries compared to, but we just started grabbing and throwing debris, trying to get anybody out. And we successfully got people out, just not alive.
It was just a traumatic experience. Now, if you look at this, we're shooting a car. You can see the car seats in here, the damage, people just fleeing during this storm, trying to find a safe place. And this is what's left, just buildings, parking lots, everything just left. People aren't coming back to these cars right now. They're just moving on because there's nothing left at this point. And they're just trying to find families, trying to find any belongings they can. Obviously a lot of tragedy today. I will tell you, friends of mine are doctors here, and they told me that unfortunately, just about 20 minutes after this happened, there were already people looting computers and things like this. So police are now stepping up security with that in mind. Unfortunately, people do need to think of that, and if they have had damage, try to get what they can out of their properties, because there are people out there who mean harm.
That's pretty unusual.
I'm reporting
for
live
Oklahoma,
here from
though.
Telephone and Southwest 4th.
Meg,
Let's
let
go
me
back
ask you
to
one other question, Meg, because we saw that video of people searching. She can't hear us.
Yeah.
Can you hear us now, Meg?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. People were searching. You had great video of people in there searching almost as quickly as they could get into the area. But how did they know what they were searching for? Did they have indications that people were in that debris?
Yes, here's what we knew. We knew, as I said, as we were there, they pulled out a man and a woman. There were some people there at some point that had been taken away in an ambulance, but I think they were able to tell them that they knew there was another woman in there and a 7-month-old baby. So that is what we were searching for. They knew they were in there, and it was a desperate search. We finally got a dog in the mix. The dog is what got the hit, but, you know, it was after a long time, and unfortunately when they pulled that baby up, we knew there was no chance, and
So sad.
then a little later they
really
pulled up
is.
the mom.
And it's a hard thing to see as a family member. It's horrible. It's a hard thing to see as a journalist too, and Meg, we appreciate that. Speaking of fatalities, I've just been handed something that there has been a report that CNN is reporting that 6 people who died as a result of the storm that hit Oklahoma City are being sent to the state ME's office, some medical examiner's office. So right now we're being told that 6 fatalities so far. We hope it doesn't go any higher, but unfortunately it just may. 4
of those deaths, Meg confirmed, because she was at the scene when they pulled the bodies out. As we look at this continued search and rescue effort in Moore, Oklahoma, let me tell you, folks in southeast Oklahoma City, do not use your water. The storm knocked out the Draper water treatment plant. Any water that you would get out of your faucets right now would be untreated water. You're advised not to use water that's coming from your faucets in southeast Oklahoma City until you are told otherwise. Emergency generators will soon begin operating the plant again, and at that time, we'll tell you that the water is safe, but for now, do not use the water.
And you know, one of the great charitable organizations is the Salvation Army that always lends a hand to, as many others do. And Janine's with us from the Salvation Army right now. Tell us what you folks are on the ground doing and what you need from us to tell people.
First, you know, our hearts, our prayers go out to all the families during this tragedy. And as always, the Salvation Army, we're ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Whenever the Salvation Army is needed to lend a hand, definitely we're there. And we have mobilized our canteens, which are feeding units, and we have volunteers that are we're already scheduled volunteers 2 weeks out to provide meals and hydration, emotional and spiritual support during these times.
So, Janine, where do people go to get this help, though, at this point? Because they're not letting people into Moore. The people who are in Moore, in many cases, have no way of getting out. Their transportation is gone. So how do you suggest people get what they need?
Well, and I know our volunteers and personnel challenges trying to get to the scene for the reasons that you're saying. I know that canteens are going to be positioned where they're most needed. And so at that point, when they're able to all get into position, they'll be visible. And they're also monitoring and coordinating with the emergency management folks so they know where to be located in areas.
Gene, we've got a little bit of a bad connection, but I want to ask you one other question. On the May 3rd, 1999 tornado, when it moved through this general same area of Moore, Oklahoma, 10,000 people were displaced. Their homes